Hello, my name is Cooper Chell, and welcome to my video presentation, Designing for Children, What Information Designers Need to Know About Crafting Content for Those Little Rascals. Children make up a robust and growing user base for digital content in the 21st century. 1 in 3 internet users today is a child under the age of 18, who is more likely to access their digital content using a smartphone or tablet rather than a traditional computer. In fact, by age 11, more than 50% of U.S. children will own a smartphone, a percentage that, according to Pew Research data, jumps up to 95% by the time they become teenagers. As technology becomes more and more ubiquitous in our lives, children are being introduced to digital content at increasingly young ages. In 2013, nearly 30% of Swedish preschoolers used the internet daily, and of those just 2 years old, almost half had begun to use the internet regularly. This is particularly relevant because around 2 years of age is when children typically pass into a new stage of their cognitive development. The cognitive abilities of children change drastically as they grow, and this has many implications for how they interact with technology. By the time they reach just 2 years of age, children have entered the pre-operational stage, the second of psychologist Jean Piaget's developmental stages. Children in this stage have likely already begun to use words and pictures to represent objects, which gives information designers plenty of ways they can create meaningful content for this age group. Though it is still important to remember that fine motor skills are continuing to develop all throughout this stage. As they reach age 7, children pass into the third of Piaget's stages, the concrete operational stage. Having mastered the rudiments of written language, they can now read and comprehend entire paragraphs of text, and begin to think logically about the content of a web page. When they near the end of this stage, children have become comfortable navigating content, scrolling through complicated systems, and selecting small, specific touch targets. Finally, by age 12, children reach the last of Piaget's developmental stages, the formal operational stage. In this stage, their grasp on logic continues to develop, and they begin to think abstractly about what's possible and how they can interact with digital environments. As children become teenagers, and their technical competency grows ever closer to that of an adult, there are still a number of ways in which they differ from both adults and younger children. Unlike their younger peers, teens approach digital spaces with a goal-oriented mindset. Not simply content to aimlessly peruse a website or application for ambient entertainment, they seek to use technology to accomplish specific tasks. Their advanced cognition means that they can use creative thinking to accomplish their goals. However, research still shows that, despite growing up alongside technology, teenagers routinely perform worse than adults on the web. This comes from lower reading levels, general impatience, and underdeveloped research skills. Now that we have an understanding of how children's minds work, we can begin to explore ways to design content and information with their specific needs in mind. When designing for young children, it is important to remember that they want instant gratification, and that their minds are easily distracted. While it may be tempting to cram lots of visual content into a page in the hopes of capturing and retaining a child's attention, studies have found that such tactics typically diffuse the child's attention across the entire page, limiting the likelihood that they will actually engage with the meaningful parts of your design. Keeping your designs simple and clean will often prove a sure path to success. All users can become frustrated when a website or application proves too obtuse for them to easily understand, and children are no exception. It is therefore an excellent idea to design your systems from the ground up with the goal of reducing the necessary cognitive load. Creating intuitive and self-explanatory systems is key. One way to effectively ensure that children don't struggle with your system is to create a series of guide rails. Tools like built-in autocorrect will prevent children with limited spelling ability from being locked out of your content and becoming frustrated. Meanwhile, proper and well-thought-out onboarding techniques will prevent children from coming to the wrong conclusions about your system. Once a child has learned the wrong lesson, it can be very difficult for them to unlearn it. Children enjoy play and seek it out, both in the real world and in digital spaces. Designing content that evokes the feeling of play is a great way to make your content compelling to younger audiences. To that end, fun pictures and bright colors can catch a child's eye, and novel methods of content interaction can entice them to engage with your webpage. Guidance for designing with teenagers in mind is clear. You are almost always going to be dealing with a hostile user. Teens want their designs to work immediately, simply, and in a way that doesn't condescend to or judge them. Conversely, however, they will be extremely quick to judge you. In fact, teens will routinely blame content designers for difficulties that arise with using technology, even when those issues clearly stem from their own impatience, overconfidence, or still developing cognitive abilities. To combat this difficult development situation, the solution is simple. Give them what they want. Build your systems to be fast, simple, and mobile-focused, with a design that emphasizes age-relevant interactive content. As we draw to a close, it's important to remember that children are one of the most vulnerable populations, and when designing content and systems that cater to them, special care must be taken to ensure that they remain safe and protected. Honest and kind-hearted products, with locks that prevent children from unknowingly spending real-world money, should be standard across the board, with special emphasis placed on avoiding dangerous and addictive reinforcement feedback loops. In conclusion, designing for children is much more than simply simplifying designs intended for adults. Crafting content for them is both a difficult task and an excellent opportunity to shape, guide, and protect the next generation.